Hello, this video is going to cover connecting Codesys PLC application to a Rockwell Studio5000 application over EthernetIP. In my case, I've got a Weidmuller M3000 PLC, and I'm going to connect to a CompactLogix that I have on my test bench here. So there's nothing in this program. All I've added is the M3000 itself. So I'm going to right-click on it, go to Add Device. You can see you have your different communications protocols listed here. I drove into EthernetIP, double-click Ethernet, adds it to the program. I'm going to right-click where it says Ethernet here, go to Add Device, drive down into EthernetIP local adapter because I'm going to use one of the ports directly on my controller. And then I'm going to right-click on that EthernetIP adapter, add a device, and drive down into here where it's got EthernetIP module. Double-click that and add it to the program. Once I've done that, I can double-click this EthernetIP module. You can see you've got your consumed assembly and your produced assembly. So in my case, I'll just add just an example. There's other data types here, but just as an example, I use signed integers. I'm going to make a length of 4, so I got 4 bytes coming in. Same thing here. I'm going to go to signed integer, change this to 4. Now I've got 4 bytes going out. So I'm going to jump to another program I have that already has all this stuff in it, and we'll go from there. I've got this is in UOS, gone to network and internet. You can see where, I set a static IP for the Ethernet port. So I've configured my IP address already. And then I'm jumping back to the Codesys program that I have where I've already configured all of this. So if you go in here, you can see I've got that same port selected. You can see the IP address matches up. And then also if I go down here, all of this is the same. So once you've configured your produced and consumed and you're happy with what you want to, send out and receive back, you can go up here to Ethernet adapter, and there's this export EDS file. You can export this and it will send this out to, wherever you want to save it. Once you've saved that off somewhere, you can come into Studio5000, click Tools at the top here, go down to EDS Hardware Installation Tool. This will take a minute to load on mine, but what you're going to do is go and find that EDS file and add it to your program. And then once you've done that and added it, in here you would go and register that EDS file you generated. You can double click, you can add that to your Ethernet tree down here, and you can see if you click change here, it shows the EDS generated, your input and output size, and then the data type. So I'll go online with this controller here. You have to set the IP address of your Ethernet port to be, let's do this, in the same subnet. So my PLC is set to 192.168. My CompactLogix PLC, there's 2 PLCs here, but the CompactLogix is set to 192.168.0.30. And then you can see that in Codesys, I had that set to the Ethernet port, which was 192.168.0.200. So I'm in the same network. So I'll go online here as well. So now I'm connected. I'll hit play. So I start with my code. You can see I've got the green circle here. You saw those 2 orange triangles that appeared for a second there before the communications started up. If you've got a communication error of some sort, these will be orange. And from there, it'll either be a IP mismatch or a data size mismatch. If I come down here, I can actually monitor the inputs that we have or the outputs. And you can see everything's off currently other than one output, or I guess input on this side. If I go to my controller tags in the Studio5000 program, and I type in maybe outputs, I can put in, put a number in there, and then if I come back to the Codesys program, you can see I've got the corresponding bits on. You can see that if I expand it here as well. So that's how you set up the communications. The same thing works for the inputs. If I go back to the Codesys application. I just have a simple line of code here just to turn output on to simulate it, just so, for testing purposes, you can see that the inputs are also working on the Rockwell side. So hopefully this helps. This is how you set up the Ethernet IP communications between Codesys and Rockwell. And yeah,